up Saturday afternoon to come along to this clinic. It's part of BNSW's ongoing clinics. I'm with Basketball Australia, but if we can help support clinics, and particularly in regional Australia, that's a bonus. So appreciate Rose's work in putting this together, and obviously you guys giving up part of your Saturday to come and do it. I know it's a busy holiday period. We're going to work on shooting today, predominantly jump shooting the ball. It's I guess the one skill that we can never have enough information on. It's the one skill that we need to continue to improve our knowledge as coaches, and it's the one skill that we need to impart that knowledge and improve. It's the single most important skill in the game. And our game is one that's so multifaceted, has so many different skills and so many different parts, but your ability to shoot the ball with consistency as a player has probably never been as important in the modern game as it ever has in the history of basketball. If you watch NBL, WNBL, NBA, WNBA, EuroLeague, international basketball, all the players can shoot. And the player that is just a screener, an offender, and a passer is still crucial in the modern game. But the difference is now, as opposed to 20 years ago or even 15 years ago, is they need to be able to shoot the ball, or at least be a threat to shoot the ball. So we have to spend so much time developing that with our players. I've said for a long time that 20% of total practice time should be devoted to shooting. Well, I think at the youth level, it's more like 30%. So a third of your total practice time should be devoted to shooting. Now that doesn't mean that you just stand there for a third of practice and do form shooting, and I'll give you some drills today. But as the importance on shooting has grown in our game, the other thing that's grown tremendously is how many three-point shots we take. Have you changed how much of your practice time and your drilling to adjust to that? You know, if a team took 25 three-point shots in an NBL game 15 years ago, it would be a revelation. You're like, wow, they took a lot of threes, they shot, there's too many threes. Now, if the team was to take 25 threes, people will be saying they didn't shoot enough threes to win this game. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to spend a whole lot of time working on the three-point shot, but it just shows now, one, the importance of the three-point shot, but two, the importance of shooting in general. So I would challenge you to spend more of your time teaching, drilling, and developing shooting. How do we do that? Well, we want to do it in three different phases. We always want to work on form or technique. We also want to make sure that we're working on the absolute base and the fundamental that they need to do. Once we've worked on that, now we need to have some repetition. All right? So the first phase, we need to focus in on making sure they've got a really sound technique, how they hold the ball, how they stand, their body positioning, their footwork. Then we want to put that into a repetition system where they're getting lots of shots up. Right? The last one is adaptive or situational. So they need to be able to shoot in situations that are going to happen in games. Some coaches like to just say, oh, we do a lot of contested shooting. I don't like that term, because as the offensive coach, what are we trying to create? A bunch of uncontested shots. So the last thing I want to practice is contested shots. So I prefer to use adaptive shooting, where there might be a situation where they've got to shoot the ball with someone closing out. There might be a situation where they've got to shoot the ball over a hand. So if you can work in those three phases, form, repetition, and adaptive, you've got a chance. So if you're looking at 30% of total practice time, and you go for 90 minutes, you know, 25 odd minutes are going to be on shooting the basketball. And people say, oh, I don't have enough time. Here's a tip. Get rid of the 5 minutes you spend on baseline inbounds. Get rid of the 5 minutes you spend on tricky ball screen plays. Because in the end, if they can't shoot it, whatever you're doing in terms of system makes no difference at all. And I would be saying that to youth coaches, I would be saying that to pro coaches. If in doubt, throw something else out and get more shooting in there. All right? So form shooting. For years we've taught form shooting where we've had the kids stand underneath the basket, and there was this one, put the ball in your hand like that. Where's the ball? Give me the ball, please. All right, here, lift it, shoot it. Well, what shot in the history of basketball starts with your hand underneath the ball? It doesn't make any sense. All right? And the other thing, how interesting is this group? So what do? They're bored, they don't take any care on it. So when we do form drills, we're going to talk about all shots, all net, all the time. So that's focus. All right? We're going to talk about every shot a game winner. That's value. So all shots, all net, all the time is about focus. We want them to think that every shot is a game winner. So they put a value on it. The last thing we're going to talk about is don't miss 2 in a row individually. Don't miss 2 in a row individually, and that's about correction. So I missed 1 shot, there's no defense. I should be able to self-correct and shoot that. All shots, all net, all the time. And it doesn't mean that I don't use the backboard. We just did some work with the big guys, and I'm encouraging them to use the backboard. I'm a dinosaur, probably one of the very few coaches that still gets kids to do that. What I'm saying is the ball doesn't go touch the iron. If it goes off the backboard, it's straight through the net. All right? So all we're going to do is start to spread out a little bit. We want to make sure that we can gather the ball, and get it to our set point. That's one of the biggest issues with young players, is they start their shot from a whole lot of different places. They start it from here, they start it from here, they start it from here. You need to give them a consistent set point. Right? So all I want you to do, guys, you're going to spin the ball out. If you're right-handed, you're going to skip through the catch, get it, make sure that you bring it just to your sternum. Your left hand's on the side of the ball, your right hand's behind the ball. If you're left-handed, the other way. All right? But what we want to do is we always want to create energy off the floor, not through the floor. You see kids do this. Where's the energy going? It's going that way. Where do we want the ball to go? That way. So it's energy off the floor. So they skip into it every time. It's light contact, and they're trying to get it. So all we do is throw it out, skip through it, and bring it to that set point. Go, go.
Go.
Good. And again, quick. All right, do it again, and I just want you to freeze when you get to the set point. Go. Right, stop, freeze, don't move your hands. All right? No. Not bad. He's working against himself. Where's his hand? Top of the ball. Basic physics. We want it to go that way. All right? Who's ever pulled a fridge upstairs without a rope? You don't do it, do you? You get behind it and you push it up. All right? So we've got hand on top of ball, hand on top of ball, hand on top of ball. First thing if you want to correct shooting is wrist tilt. All right? So here, face the sponsor's product right at the rim. Here, bang. You should have wrinkles in the back of your wrist. Cock that wrist like that. There you go, lift the ball. If we learn nothing else today, that's it. So they start with the ball here, and now they're trying to get to, by the time they get to here, they've still got their hand against the ball. Who's got players, we call them squirters? They launch it, because they're never underneath the ball. So guys, same thing, skip it out, and make sure that you get that wrist. So I should have a T. See that? I should have a T, boom, wrist tilt. I should be able to see wrinkles there. Let's go. Good, again. Quick. All right, not bad. That's the first thing. Go around and see how their wrist tilt is. We used to teach that. It's funny with shooting. I came to a camp here in 1989 in July. So the weather was spectacular. Alright? We slept in here. And overnight the weather was tremendously spectacular. Alright? But we just worked on wrist tilt, shoot it up, get to the set point. We just worked on all these common sense things. Now we've made things too complicated. If players can just get to that, instead of having their head, they're going to be better already. Alright, now, the other common problem in the set point ball is remember, kids are very literal learners. So I would say, get your elbow underneath the ball. So they've got their wrist tilt, and now they get their elbow underneath the ball. Does that look comfortable? Does the right side of my body look comfortable? No. Alright? I would never stand like that. Alright? But we say, get your elbow underneath the ball. Everything's got to be in a straight line. It has to be in a straight line at the end, not the start. So yes, as we come up, we want that straight line. You've probably all heard it. Toe, knee, hip, elbow, wrist, fingers, ball. Yes? It's almost impossible to have any sort of natural movement if I'm trying to do this. It's not comfortable. And comfort and naturalness is one of the most important elements of shooting. So I talk to the kids, if they can do this in terms of their physiology, great, but they probably can't. What have I created with my arms and elbows now? It's an upside down V, isn't it? That's comfortable. I feel comfortable now. So I talk to them about going from a V to an I. Alright? Go from a V to an I. We don't need an I until there. So what can you do from there? Nothing. So now I want you to skip through it, alright, catch into that V, and then I just want you to load it above your eyes. You step in, load it above your eyes. Let's go. Here we go. And again, quick. Alright, good. And again, let's go. Quick. Alright, so now we've got set point, now we've got load point. Now it's really important when you teach this that they understand that shooting's a fluid motion. Often when we break it into parts, again the kids are literal learners, so they go 1, 2, 3. Name the last elite shooter you saw that did that. It's like molasses out of a jar. They don't know what molasses is. Alright? It's got to be, it's one fluid movement. So, but what I want you to do now, guys, spin it out a bit further, skip through the catch now. You've got a V, make sure you've got a wrist tilt. Now lift it above. So you start your shot looking over the ball, you finish your shot looking under the ball. Don't shoot it yet. Go! Again, just don't wait for it to go. I'll tell you when to stop. Good. Alright, now, the other thing is their stance. We haven't spoken about it. They're either they catch it upright and stay upright, or they catch it upright, go down to come up. Too much wasted movement. You have to be down, so catch it down. So, you always have to sit into your game, guys. In basketball, low guy wins. Low guy wins all the time. Height's the most overrated thing in all of basketball. Spin it, get to the ball low, then lift it. Alright? Get the ball low, then lift it. Start your shot looking over the ball, finish your shot looking under the ball. Go, quick. Good. Here we go. Alright, now just shoot it. High and soft. So same thing, spin it out, skip into it, V to an I, so set point, lift, bang, hold your follow through, and then just walk into after it bounces to get the ball. High and soft. The ball has to go up 5 metres. Go. Good. Go. Quick. Hold the follow through till the ball hits the floor. Hold the follow through till the ball hits the floor. Good. Alright, hold up. In general, how's their technique? It's not bad. Alright? Remember, we're not coaching cyborgs, we're coaching human beings that have different physiology, right? So for some guys, getting their elbow in is really difficult, right? Some guys getting in a low stance is really difficult. Some guys straightening out their elbow is really difficult. But for the most part, they finished there, alright? So on the follow through, make sure that there's consistency in their follow through. One of the biggest errors for young players is they close their hand at the most important time. Alright? This is the single most important time when I get to there. If I close my hand, how much purchase have I got on the ball? One of the most popular coaching sayings is one of the worst and silliest coaching sayings. Hand in the cookie jar. We want you to reach up and grab a cookie, do we? Do we really want them to do that at the end of their shot? No, we want them to reach up and take the whole packet to your team. Because we don't want them to close their hand. You see a lot of them, boom, they don't do it yet because they haven't got a ball. Keep your hands spread, your thumb out, fingers down. Alright? Let's focus on that. Let's go. Good. Don't shoot the ball. Don't shoot the ball. Good. High and soft. Good. Good. So in your warm-up, if I was coaching youth basketball day to day or a rep team or any sort of junior team, my warm-up wouldn't be a lot of running, high knees, grapevine, all that stuff, because you don't have time. Alright? I'd put them on the baseline, give me 4 lines on the baseline. Quick, come on! Everyone's got a ball, we've got to teach feet, we've got to teach hands, we've got to teach shot technique. We can't do any of that just running up and down without a ball. So all I want you to do, guys, is you're going to go on a zigzag, that way first, spin the ball out, inside foot pivot, lift. Spin the ball out, inside foot pivot, lift. We're working on all those things, make sure we catch it, we've got a wrist tilt, bring it through the set point, lift it. Start our shot looking over the ball, finish our shot looking under the ball. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Here we go. Good. Good. Next, go. Right, drop back, quick. Same thing with the dribble now. Go in one direction. So I'm going to go leg over leg. So if I'm going this way, I'm going to go dribble, into my shot. Dribble, into my shot. Leg over leg. Go. Good. Here we go. Up, good. Good. Right, mate. Give me 2 triangles. Right, one there. You're at the white line, someone's here, someone's maybe at the where you are there, same over there. A couple of more guys here, make 2 different triangles. Let's go. Now, alright, what's going to happen? One ball, quick. Alright, what's going to happen is you're going to have your hands up Grace is going to fire it. You're going to pivot on the other foot and turn it face in. But before you do that, so you're going to catch it, shot, and then make a first pass. All right, go. Good. Shot. Good. Pivot. Shot. Good. Pivot. Shot. No. Shot. Here we go. Good. Go. Good. Make another triangle if you have to. Good. Make another triangle if you have to. Quick. Good. Pivot. Good. Pivot into the shot. Good. Alright, hold up. Now, start back a little bit, Grace. Right, stay where everyone else. Now you're going to lead towards him, just a couple of steps, catch the ball in the air. Shot fake, then pivot, make a pass to him. Go. Good. You move back. Go. Good. Move back. Right, no, wait for him to go. Good. Everyone's got to move back after you pass and run through. Good. Here we go. Good. Teammate. Everything's same thing, but shoot it to your teammate. So you're moving it around, step in, shoot it, catch it, shoot it. Just move it around the triangle. Let's go. High and soft. Get it up 5 meters. Get it up 5 meters. Good. Here we go. Good. Good girl. Here we go. Good. Step into it. Skip through the catch. Good. Quick. Come on. Good. Again, there's different things you can do early to just practice that. Now, I'm not saying any of them. We spend a little bit longer on it because I want to show you guys. But the first 6 minutes of my practice, I'm going to be working on shot technique and they might not even know it.
I think it's going to die.
Right? So we're doing that, we're getting some passing, we're moving. You might only have to do that, once you've taught it, you might only have to do that for 40 seconds. So do one for 40 seconds, another one for 40 seconds, and all of a sudden 4 minutes and then you're in, going. Alright? So, but you have to get them to understand the connection between their feet stepping in, the way they catch it, the way they load it, then the way they shoot. Alright? So now as we move into form shooting, I don't think shooting with one hand, especially when you're starting, has got much value. If you do want to do one hand shooting, come here. Load it there. Load it there. A little bit higher. Alright? Right, you want to nail that, good girl. Right, now just shoot it. Alright? Again. So I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. Iron soft. Iron soft. Hold up. What's our rules? Now I was talking to the coaches, but you should listen because it's a chance to get better. All shots, all net, all the time. Who's missed a shot in this drill already? Hands up if you've missed a shot. Now, this isn't a shot at them, but how? How did 2/3 of them miss this? Look where they're shooting from. Value. Alright? All shots, all net, all the time is focus. Don't miss 2 in a row is value. We actually charted this at a program I was at previously. We charted form shooting. First time we charted, they shot 40% in form shooting. Not because they weren't good shooters, it's just they didn't give a shit. Right? It's like, God, is this the most boring drill in the world? So they don't get any better. Alright? All shots, all net, all the time. Put a value on it. Let's go. Here we go. Don't try to shoot. Hold fire, shoot, all net. spin outs. So you're going the same distance. You're going to spin it out to yourself, but you're not going to bounce it. It's spin out, not spin up. So I want you to do this. You're just going to spin it out of your hands, get it, gather it, shoot it. Alright? Same thing. Make sure that you start with a V, you come a line, hold your follow through, keep your thumb out, all shots all net all the time. Go. When we perform shooting, often we take out any variable, right? And hit some variable. Pivot, touch it, move it, change the angles. It's still very simple. Make this part of the adaptive shooting. They're not going to buy into it if I'm just going to stand here and do that. Go. Ball in, right and top. Alright, now. Angle spins now. So face away from the basket. And now you just have to pivot into it. So you just flip it here, skip into it, knock it down. Let's go. And again, you do this for 3 minutes every practice, I'll get better. You don't have to do all of it, you don't have to do it for long, but you have to do it. So brushing your teeth, 2 minutes a day, down up, try and avoid doing it for 2 weeks. What do you want, 2 minutes or $2,000? You get it by brushing your teeth every day. Alright, hold up. Now, flips now. You're going to start back to the basket. You're going to flip it over your left shoulder, find it, step in and shoot it. Now I've got a titanium here, so I'm not going to demonstrate this one. Okay? So start the ball back to the basket, just flip it over, they've got to find it, gather it, shoot it. Okay, go. Reverse pivot into your shot. So start the ball here at your set point. No, your set point. Right? No. You're going to shoot set point. Right? Start your set point. So I just want you to reverse pivot on your left foot. Shoot it. Right? Let's go. Go shoot the ball. Pivoting is such an undertaught skill that you've got to add pivoting. 20-minute post series with a couple of big hits. 20-minute hits. They technically learn to play the post, but not. They're learning to do it. You can't definitely can't. Get shooting, you can't even do it almost. So you've got to include some pivoting, and again it's adapting to what they need to do in a game. Good, hold up. So you're down, also your set point. Now you're going to go 1, set point, 2, set point, 3, shoot. So it's right. 1, set point. Whoa. What's the hurry? Left hand dribble, right? Watch me. Alright? Now I'm trying to do as fast as you, but I can't. But that's the speed we want. So it's here, set point. 1, set point. 2, set point. 3, shoot. So a little pause, right? Go. 1, set point. 2, set point. 3, shoot. Go! where you say, like the dance shooting go, make no order variation. Just go. And you can literally put 4 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes. And just going through, how many shots do you reckon they take? I've roughly counted perfectly. Right? High 30s. High 30s shots. Right? Now they've all been there, it's 30 shots. Right, hold up. Alright, set point. Alright. Lift your right leg. Lift your right off the floor, shoot. Alright. Set point. Lift your left leg off the floor, shoot it. Go, go. Now, again, it's adaptive, it doesn't have to be done. The other part of it's proprioception. That they got some balance. It's pretty good. If you want to really kick, don't lift one leg off. Right, so while you're focusing on the technique, it also gives you a bit of strength here. Shots all day. Good. All shots all day, all time. Same there, and give me someone here. This guy does. Alright, so with that form, if you think form shooting, most players will think I'm going to come and stand here and no, you've got to add some variables and it's got to move quick. That took 20 minutes, but I'm teaching you. Once that's in, you can walk on the floor and say, right, put your form in, go. I went to the University of North Carolina in January, and after they'd done their warm-up, the coach just said, righto, get your rhythm, which is his way of getting shot. They'd go to 8 baskets similar to here, and they'd go through a similar system, and they do that every day. They practice 4 or 5 times a week. Right? And there's 6 minutes on the clock. Doesn't sound much, but again, their expectation is that they get 25 makes. They get 25 makes. And you might think, well, what does that matter? Well, the power of success in learning, and I know we've got some educators in the room, one of the most powerful tools in learning is success. They have to see the ball going through the net a lot. It conditions their mind. Alright? So that's why we always start in close, and that's why I'm hammering them all shots, all net, all the time. So this can be formed, but now we can start moving into repetition. We're going to do this at either end, guys. Alright? So, you sit into your game. Right? Big thing, we spoke about their hand positioning. Even prior to when they catch it, they got their hands here. They most have their hands in their pockets. We want to talk to them about having hungry hands. Right? I want to make sure that I'm open. I show my hungry hands. It's like, let's go, throw it right here because I want to shoot. So we're showing hungry hands. With little kids, we talk about show 10 and 2. 2 big eyes, 10 big fingers. Throw me the ball. All right? So you sit into your game, you've got hungry hands. You sit into your game, but you're going to receive it from him. So your hungry hands have to be towards him. All right? What you're going to do is throw it out, and you've got to close out. Now, if you can catch and shoot before it's a contested shot, fine. If not, it's a firm, flat pass to you, and all you can do is catch and shoot. You're trying to get to both. All right? Sit into your game, hungry hands. Go. Good. Right? And then you rotate from there. So, it's in some ways, this is all 3 phases. It's a really controlled environment. They get to stand and be ready, so there's some form and technique. There's repetition you'll see once we get it started, but there's also some adaptive shooting because in that one he did a pretty good job and he made a shot over a hand. Alright? So the key to this, guys, is firm passes, shot preparation, show hungry hands, right? Shoot it high and soft again. All shots, all net, all the time. Don't miss 2 in a row individually. Every shot's a game winner. Right, I'm going to stay here. Go. Rotate. Good. Where's next? Go, that's it. It's not about them. But you can see there's no way that one person can guard 2 people. Basic mathematics. What there is if there's a poor decision or there's poor skill execution. Now the decisions are okay, but the skill execution is bad. Guys, when I say you've got to sit into your game, everyone's got to be lower. Low man wins in this game. High overrated. Sit down. Get loaded. So now I catch it, I can rip into my shot, or I can throw it there. The passes have to be like a tracer ball. Alright? So if you watch the San Antonio Spurs, they pass it, so Patty Mills will throw it from here to Rose, and like Rose will have to catch it or it'll knock her over. That's how firm that they pass the basketball. Golden State Warriors, you think Klay Thompson, who comes off a down screen, he's got the best athlete in the league guarding him, boom, he gets it off. Not because he's a phenomenal shooter, but because the pass is right there, boom. It's not, oh, here it comes. Right? So pass the ball hard, sit in your game, make a shot. Go. Like that. There you go. Come on, quick. Good. Good job. Good. Here we go. Good. I like drills where there's a lot of passes and a lot of shots. Alright? This passing, what's your favourite passing drill? You don't have one. Say passing drill. So what are you going to do? Get as many passes into the shooting drill as you can. Right, hold up. Alright, give me a third guy right here. Same thing. Now, you're at the front of the halo. Grace, you're behind. No, still in the halo. Alright, get closer. Alright, a little bit wider. Now, same thing. You're going to throw it out. Close out, you can catch and shoot. If not, you're closing out there. Grace, catch and shoot. Bang. Catch and shoot. Alright? So, these guys can only catch and shoot or catch and pass. That guy can only catch and shoot. Now again, 2 people shouldn't be able to guard 3 people. Simple mathematics. How's it break down? Poor decisions or poor skill execution. Right? So the passes need to be on. You'll hear this if you watch any NBA, and I know the kids do. On time, on target. Shooters want passes on time, so when they're open, and on target. So that's what we want. Passes on time, on target. Shooters, shot preparation, all shots, all net, all the time. Go! Move it. Get up. Go, next. Rotate, work it out. Good. Really good job, guys. Here we go. good.
Good, actually.
We spent a lot of time talking about what? Shot preparation, hungry hands, quality of passes. What didn't we talk about? We didn't talk about follow through. We didn't, sometimes you've got to provide them with a simple plan for shooting success. One of the biggest challenges in shooting and in basketball in general, it's such a multifaceted environment. It's such a skilled environment, right? That we want to give the kids so much information, but we give them too much information, and there becomes paralysis by analysis. Sometimes you see kids and they come in, they go to shoot it, and they twist it, they turn it, and you think, how? What? You know whose fault it is? It's ours. Oh, get your elbow underneath it. We'll give them like 15 things to do, and kids are very literal learners. So they're like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to hug the ball, I've got to get a tee, I've got to get my elbow in, I've got to get this, I've got to get... And all of a sudden, the naturalness is gone. So, break it down into parts and just teach 2 or 3 parts. Often when we get into drilling, I won't even talk about the actual physical shot. See that? Free their mind. Let them just have a simple plan. Let them focus on some other things. Now you might think, well, hold it, we want them to focus on the shot. They will. What does every player in the history of the game on this planet want to do? Shoot and make shots. That's not a big issue, all right? Just make sure they get the other part right, and all of a sudden, this group here, right, probably shot the ball at what? 65% in that drill? Would you take 65% shooting percentage in a game? Yeah, you would. All right, so again, break it down into parts. Now, repetition is what we want. Everyone's got a ball. Everyone's got a ball. How many have we got? Yeah, about 10. Everyone with the ball and everyone with the 10. Let's go. Grace, you don't need a ball. You're in the drill. All right. So, this is just a variation on a drill that I think we did in 1989 when it was -4 here in Mossvale, all right? But we've added a bit of detail from it. So it's just like the old across the top shooting. So Grace, you start here, you don't need a ball. Half the guys behind Grace there, and the other half over here. Everyone's got a ball. All right. So what we're going to do, you've seen it probably a million times before, all right? So you're just going to make a little V-cut, Grace. When I say a little V-cut, you're just going to step here, and then you go across the foul line and catch your inside foot pivot. You're going to get same, right? Hold up. So you're all thinking, is this guy serious? Giving up our time and he's going to show this 150-year-old drill? When we want repetition, we want to add time, score, or target. All right? TST, time, score, or target. Now, sometimes you just want to shoot the ball, but if they're just shooting the ball and they're going through this drill, which they've all done a million times, they're not going to put any value on the shot. So what we're going to do is they're going to have 2 minutes. Has someone got a clock that they can time this for us? Yep. We're going to have 2 minutes, and we're going to see if they can make 50s. So we call this drill Tokiyama 50s. All right, again, a colleague of mine went to the University of Tokiyama in Japan, saw this drill, thought the same thing. This guy kidding? This guy's meant to be one of the best coaches in Japan. Until they put 2 minutes on the clock, and they had to get 50. So now we've got repetition, and this is what we're learning from our great friends in Japan who pass the ball better than anyone in world basketball. More shots, more passes, and we've got time component, right? 2 minutes. Score, we're going to count. Target is 50 or above. All right? So that's what we're going to do. So you've got 2 minutes, don't get too wide, everyone's got a ball. There's going to be a lot of chaos, right? Good passes. Every ball has to stay in the drill, and you guys have to count. You need that. Right? The only one who doesn't is the first guy, and then everyone else is rolling. Right? You got the time, coach? Ready? Time starts now. Go. Move. Go. Count. Come up. You're allowed a halfway, Rose, and then with 30 seconds to go. Come up. What's the score? 22. All right. Now, good job. Now, I didn't expect them to get 50. All right. First time they seen the drill. So, 22. What were you at halfway? Who knows? 8. Good. And the reason I ask them this question, and asking questions, the use of questions is so powerful. Right? So, I want to know who's aware. Because counting is a discipline and awareness is key. Counting in drills is a discipline. We ask them to count, they need to do it. Awareness is key. So he knew, and a couple others knew it was 8. So what did you get in the second minute? 14. Yep. All right. Mathematics is important too, right? But so they were a lot better in the second minute, and you know, it's funny, what did they do in the second minute? They slowed down. Alright? So now, if I'm coaching this team, I'm writing that down, that's our base. Right? So I think some of them, your team, get 22 for Tokyo 2 minutes. And then you do it again, you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. But there's what you can do now is instant feedback, and this is the most powerful tool in coaching now in modern coaching. Instant feedback. Why didn't we get better results there? Why was the first minute so down? Right? Who's got any feedback for me? What didn't we get done in the first minute that we did in the second minute that improved our shooting? Anything? You didn't get as many attempts up when? First minute, because you were too slow. So it's hard to get, you've got to try and get 25 to 28 in that first minute to get to 50. So you probably need to get minimum, even if you're shooting the ball really well, 35 to 38 attempts up. Because there is a link. Good. What else? Why not? Why didn't we get enough shots up? Passes? Yeah. Because it's 2 minutes, it's flat out. If I've got a reach behind me, get that, turn and shoot, that's half a second slower than that. So ask them for feedback. They know. You don't need to tell them, you just need to get it out of them. So it's a small drill but it's really powerful. So your target, and it's realistic, is 50 in 2 minutes. And that's realistic for youth basketball. Right? And you think, well, hold it, they've got it more than double. If you did that every practice for 6 weeks, you'd have a crack at it. All right? But you can see, when we had a more controlled environment, we said they shot the ball about 65% in that drill before. They shot the ball then about 25%. Okay? Now, I'm not big on numbers and whatever, but it's good to get some accountability. So if I'm coaching, I write, okay, total 50s, I'm writing 22. So I know what we got the next time. Pretty good. So now what we've got is this. We'll just do this at one end, I think. Bruce, can you get me a bin, please? So now we're going to work off cuts. So we're still in repetition, but we're adding some situational shooting as well. All right, so we've done form, we've done some repetition, and again, when I say there's 3 phases, that sometimes they morph into one. Sometimes there's an element of all 3 of those phases in your one drill, or you can take it to a situation where there is. Really important that you shoot off movement, because our game is such a dynamic game. I see so many drills where it's not shooting off movement, it's just shooting off standing with his receivers the whole time. With the advent of the 3-point shot at every level of basketball, we're falling behind as a nation because we're not bad at someone penetrates, throw it out here and I shoot it. But as soon as I've got to move and get to an open area, then shoot it, our percentage plummets. Because we don't practice enough in an adaptive setting. In other words, where we're moving. All right? All right, I just need a shooter in a charge halo. I need a passer out here, quick, and I need a rebounder. There's 3 guys. All right? So we're going to go 3-cut shooting now. So your first cut is you're going to catch fake. This catch fake set up that. Now you're going to cut straight off this screen. Get your left foot down. Shoot your shot with a straight cut. You're going to rebound it and get the ball back out. Now as you do that, you're going to come back and come into the halo. Touch the halo. Catch fake. Next one, we're going to curl this inside foot catch now. Bang. Right? Shoot it, rebound. Then you're going to come to the halo. Then you're going to run off this. Seek the sideline. Open up. And shoot that. So you've got 3 lots of footwork. You've got straight cut outside foot. You've got curl cut inside foot. You've got flare cut, which we call a load foot. What I mean by that is, I'm right-handed. As I seek the sideline, I want to get to a situation where my left foot's down and I can step in with my right foot. Alright, so we're flat out. So you've got to rebound, you've got to work. Alright, let's go. Go, get up, good. Halo, get it out, Good, curl it. Good. Get up, good. Seek the sideline, open up, load your foot. Go again, go again. You're in 6 shots, go. Go. Good. Get a pass. Go, move. Come on. Curl. Good. Last one, then rebound to your gun. Pass become the rebounder. Shoot become the pass. Let's go. Straight cut, go. Good. Again, you're going to work that result. Let's go. So everyone gets 6 shots. Get a couple of beers, guys, and set it up at that end. Alright, just before you start. Hey, listen to this too. This is for the coaches, but it's also for you. This is all about shot preparation. Alright? And if you watch that drill, they didn't do a bad job. And again, this is about you, it's not about them. So I'm not here critiquing them. It's not a criticism of them. Right? That drill for me is all about shot preparation. Not one of them prepared to shoot. I think the first time that they worried about shooting is when they had what? The ball in their hand. Too late. You know, we're in a situation now globally where we've got some of the best shooters that we've ever seen in our game. You know, Curry, Thompson, Kyle Korver, you know, Australia-wide, you know, we've got Chris Golding, we've got Ryan Brockhoff. These guys make shots that you just can't believe. The thing about Klay Thompson, that I believe is the best shooter I've ever seen in my life, is how quick he gets it off. Literally, he can be here, screen, it's one, boom, and it's a 3 and it's off. And people say, oh, he's got a quick release. Yeah, he does. But the release is the most overrated thing. I see coaches, go get it off quick. It's not from here to there quicker, it's from here to there quicker. They've got to prepare. So when I'm coming off that, on that straight cut, I've got to know what my foot pattern is so I can get into it, bang. When I'm coming off the curl, I know it's my inside foot and I'm bang, I can get it off. I know when I'm flaring, I'm running, now I'm loading at the foot and I can get it off. There's a reason that Kobe was able to play with a bad Achilles till he was 37 and have, what, 65 in his last game. His shot preparation was sublime. Right? He had guys all over him. He just needed to get this much seven, boom, it's off. And it wasn't as if it was boom like that. He just created time and space, shot preparation, his feet were set, now he can shoot the ball. Really, his shot was no quicker late in his career than it was early. What was better is just an unbelievable ability to use this much space, boom, and just getting me a shot. So now with this, sprint after rebounds, let's go 3 shots each, and then rotate it. But shot preparation, sprint your cuts, show, go. Good. Next, go, good boy, curl it. Good job, great step, finish off, load that leg and step in, perfect. Alright, next, go. Just run around, go, work it out. Next guys, come on. Work it out. Next guy's gone, work it out. Come on. Good. Go. Hold up, please. Alright, not too bad. Now, with this group, this is a great court for shooting because you've got all these rims, right? You've got for the small courts, you've got the big courts and whatever else. You know, if you can get this just with 3 people, this is a drill we would use just in a small group session, but think more baskets, more balls, less lines. You know, get as much repetition up. You know, your training blocks, if you're in youth basketball, your training blocks are how long you spend on one specific drill or one specific concept, I believe should be about 8 minutes, some 6, very rarely 10. You've got an hour and a half to practice, I'm gathering most of the time. You know, if you go any longer than 10, think about the percentage of that, right? So, you know, if you look and you see people on the baseline, we're not going to do it now, but just get another basket going. And some people coaches say, I don't like that, it's messy. Guess what? That's the game. You've got to become comfortable with the mess. It's not about the aesthetics. If I walk into a practice and there's every basket going and it's crazy, I don't think, wow, this is chaos. I think, wow, how good a job is this coach doing? All right? So, you know, just a point, get them going from there. The other thing that we want them to do as they develop is talk their task. Trying to get them to communicate is really difficult. So we talk a lot about talk your task. So now, Claire, as you come off a straight cut, you're going to yell what? No? Listen to what I'm saying. As you come off the straight cut, what are you going to say? Good girl. As you come off the curl cut, what are you going to say? As you go off the flare, what are you going to say? You talk your task, right? For two reasons. One, the passer will know where to put the ball in relation to your cut. But two, the audible, you know, saying that embeds the skill. It's like a lot of you are writing notes. You're not writing notes so you don't forget. You're writing notes so you embed the learning. So we've got to embed the learning here. So now everything's straight, curl, flare, right? Every time you pass it, shot. Because you can see that she's open, you want her to shoot. Shot. All right, we'll talk our task. Go. Good. Get there, come on, go, don't worry about it. Stop. Ball. Shot. Good. Next, go. The other thing you've got to do with the mesh, keep going, just get them comfortable with the mesh. So the pass makes it and everyone stop, the ball's on a minute. The one shoot, drop another ball, throw it out there and let it go. Like, it's going to happen, just like the game that's going to happen. If everything's perfect, we practice perfect, we're never going to go play. There has never been a perfect game. We go, go.
Hey, come on.
Hold up. Now, when we started it, when we started I gave them a rotation because there were 3 guys
Mark,
in there.
can you
Now
turn the
there's
last
5 or
3
6
lights
in,
on, please?
And there's still 3 or 4 guys standing on the baseline, and we still have to wait every time someone's hit. Right? Whose job's that? Mine or theirs? It's theirs. Right? They've got to find a way for the drill to be functional. We have to teach them decision making at every level. Right? So, you know, yes, we're talking about shooting, but we want them to be aware. I want someone to figure out, hey, if I go stand up there rather than being here on the baseline, we'll be able to get more reps up. Right? Now, if they're younger, if they're under 12s or under 10s, you have to give them the rotation. These kids, no, work it out. You know, you've got to make them make decisions. Get them to think the game. All right, clear those things off. You guys come in quick. Come, we've got to move. Let's go. All right, give me that drill again where it's shooting the halo, shooter, but the third shooter now once you're outside the 3. Quick! So now we're into adaptive shooting. So we've worked on our form, you know, we've got them to make sure that they can pivot, that their stance, their technique, and again, this is the most important part of the shot, how it finishes. Can they put their hand in the basket? Can they shoot it high and soft? All right? Now we're going to work on a bit more game-like, but still a shooting focus. And this is when I say that 30% of total practice time should be on shooting. It doesn't mean that you have to do all those drills for a third of your practice. So what we're going to work on now is closing out, passing, pivoting, catching, shooting, decision making. Right? But I want every drill, as many drills as we can, where we've got some value, some direct impact on how we shoot the basketball. So the drill is this now. You can only catch and shoot or catch and pass, same rules apply. You can only catch and shoot, catch and pass, same rules apply. You have to drive. Come up to the kink. Yeah, just on the kink. Right? So just walk through. You throw it out. If you haven't got the shot, right? If you haven't got the shot, you have to catch it outside the 3. Right? You have to penetrate. Now, if you can shoot a layup inside the green, shoot a layup. Other than that, you guys have to move to an open area so he can see you. And again, all you can do is catch and shoot. Show us. Go! Go! Now, I'm going to add some left. I deliberately talk about the people rules and deliberately tell them where they can go. Sometimes we give them too much information and they don't learn it. Right? So I'm going to get the drill going. I'm taking the mistakes. I'm going to be comfortable with the best. All I want now is firm passes, shot preparation, hopefully find the opening. Then as we build it, we're going to add some basketball concepts. Let's go, come on. Alright, hold up. Remember I said simple mathematics? 2 people can't guard 3 people? I was wrong, wasn't I? 2 people can guard 3 people easily. How many shots have we got? How many turnovers? If I didn't get this would end up Southern Forest. Right? 2 people can't guard 3 people unless there's poor decision or there's poor skill execution. And the 2 are usually intrinsically linked. The other thing is, guys, how many times have I said, hey, throw a bounce pass to the shooter? I can tell you how many times I've said it today. It's the same amount of times as I've said it in my life. Never. Right? Who watches the NBA? Anyone? Steph Curry, springs open. Do they throw him a bounce pass? Ever? Like ever? Wonder why? Right? Bounce passes are important. Right? But for a shooter, they're coming off like that. So you're coming to shoot it and I go, there you go. It's slow and whatever else. So first thing, no bounce passes to shoot. Secondly, penetrate to score. If you have to, come to a jump stop. 2 people can't guard 3 people. Jump stop, pivot, find the open player. Right? What did I have you do when you shot? Call out what you're doing. What could you do now if you're open? Call out what you're doing. Who can remember the 3 words I used? T, white T. No. Yeah, good boy. Straight, curl, flare. Talk your task. Talk your task. Right? Corner, elbow, behind, whatever it is, and that'll. So now we add all the details and go from here. Now, let's get it organised here. Quick, come on. We're still working shooting, but part of shooting is creating shots. So if it goes there, just walk through again. Right? Bang. Bang. Now, as he penetrates, there's a whole lot of different things. So you would have probably heard the term split kick extra. We're not going to get into that now. Right? I'm going to say this to you on movement. The obvious thing to do is usually the obvious thing to do. Pretty simple. Right? So he penetrates there, and there's a massive gap there. What's the obvious thing for him to do? Just fill behind. Right? 2 people go there, there's a big gap there. What's the obvious thing for her to do? Either sneak in and get a layup, but right now we're working on jump shots, so you just fake. Right? You might do this. Go back. You got to penetrate there. If this guy stays at home a little bit, you might flare. You have to flare too. Right? And now we force that, so you might throw it here. Close out. What's the drill we did before? Extra, wide open. Alright, so You're probably going to do the same movement, but you've got to get a read whether you're going to flare to create that 2-on-1 or you're going to wrap to create that 1-on-0. And I don't care which. Right? Let's go. Here we go. Got it. There you go. Good. Good. Instructor. No, it's fine. Good pivot. Good boy. So, with this, it's not a shooting. Yes, it is. Because these two guys can only catch and shoot. That's all they can do. Catch and shoot or catch and pass. Right? So it's not really a 3-on-2 drill. It's a decision-making drill. And can they hunt a wide-open shot? What I mean by that, can they see what's going on and move in such a place that they give themselves time and space? The two single most important words in individual offense in basketball are time and space. If I've got the ball, can I use a jab step to create some time and space? Can I use a shot fake to create some time and space? Can I move if I'm off the ball to receive it in time and space so I can shoot the ball? Right? That's all you're wanting to get done, and then hopefully you've done the work with their shot technique that when they get there and they take a good shot in time and space, it goes in half the time. And that's all you can ask for. If you ask players, particularly youth players, what do you think you shot in that game? They'll say, 80%. What, you Kim Elijah one? Right? Players don't have any awareness. Like the best shooters of all time that are not post players, you know, I think like Curry's low 50s. Is he a good shooter? So he misses 1 out of every 2 shots. He's one of the best shooters we've ever seen. So if we can get a situation where they can move to an open area, they've got really good technique, they understand shot preparation, and in game situations they can make half their shots, you have done a phenomenal job as a youth coach. Right? So that's what we're trying to get done here. Now, set up the same drill. Now, we need a third defender. You're where the lane line meets the baseline, but you're out of court. You're out of court. Alright? Same drill. Throw it. Throw it. Throw it. Drive it. As soon as he puts it on the floor, it's yours. Alright? And then we're just playing 3-on-3. So we'll have a momentary 3-on-2. A momentary 3-on-2. Then it'll be 3-on-3. And this is what I talk about adaptive teaching and adaptive coaching. I'm still focusing on the shooting here. I'm still trying to create wide open shots. But we've added some movement, we've added some decision making, which is crucial, and we'll see if they can hunt out a shot. Remember, the only person that can drive, even dribble, is this guy. Everyone else, you've just got to move, catch and shoot, or catch and pass. Got it? See it? Got it. Move it. Move it. Good. Good. Remember, you can drive it. Remember, you can drive it. Good. Go. Alright? So, rotate through, get organised. So, also, this is about constraints-based teaching. One guy can penetrate, the other 2 guys can't, right? But remember, when you can penetrate any time you catch it. On the first catch, you have to drive, right? But any other time you catch it, you have to drive as well. All right? You other guys, you just got to find space and get a jump shot. Now, did we get a wide open shot that went in? Yes. All right? Did it come off a perfect drill? No. Is the game perfect? No. That's what we're trying to do. Can they find a way to create for themselves and create for others? Go. Drive it. Just make sure it drives. Good. Look at it. Look at it. Good. Play. Drive it. Right, next, go. In this situation, go. One of the worst places is setting up. See the drill went, and they find themselves through the mess. Let's go. There it is. All right, now, hold up. Let's go, Pete. Same drill. Give me a fourth guy in the corner on offense. Now, Grace, you're outside the 3, you're on that key where it changes direction. All right. Now, you can't come in until she drives. You can't guard her. Right? So throw it out. Quick. Throw. Right. Drive. You can't guard her. You can come in, you can guard anyone but her. So who's got to get her? Hey, I'll give you the answer. Someone else. See that? Like, she's going to drive to the basket and score a layup, and we're having an assembly about who's going to get her. Right? So someone else is going to get her. Now we can get into defensive rotation, but I don't want it. I want them to figure it out. Right? So now you have to drive. If you get a layup, get a layup. You can only catch and shoot or catch and pass, catch and shoot, catch and pass, catch and shoot, catch and pass. Right? Everyone understand the drill? Go. No, start. Next. Now, Grace, you can't run into the lead dribble because you can't guard him. Go! Next one. So, Grace is for you. Go! Grace is for you. Patient with you. Hang in a second. Someone. So she's close. Let's go.
Oops.
Move it. There it is. Good. And again, go. Quick. Move the ball. Move it. Drive it. Who's open? Shoot it or move it. Good. Next. Come on, go.
Someone, yeah.
Who's open? Move the ball. Move it. Next. Down here. Move it. Oh, who's open? Extra. Who's open? Good. Let's go. Next. How much did that improve from the start until the last 2 repetitions? You know, 40% improvement? I'm not talking about shot percentage, just functionality. Who drove the functionality? They did. Not me. Like, I was encouraged, come on, move it, but I didn't give them any functional direction to do. And then the last, 3 jump shots? Bottom of the net. And because that's shooting as well, adaptive shooting. So now they start to feel and they start to realise, right, who took that last shot just made it? So he caught it, and you could physically see the decision-making process taking part. Right? And it was a common sense thing to do. The obvious thing to do was, funnily enough, the obvious thing to do. All right? So you can break that down, and now you can see the other thing I like about that drill is just what else improved as a fundamental. The shooting, communication did, passing, all of a sudden now, it's like bang, 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 bang. Now you're a chance. Now you're a chance to get open shots. All right? So, again, try and work at different situations as you work through. See, in your 30% of total practice time, I'll be including this. But in this drill, you can work on passing, receivers principles, defensive rotation, defensive communication, offensive rebound, a whole lot of things that you can do. But the byproduct of it is we're getting a lot of game-like open shots that they can practice. Now, it's not the volume, so, everyone in that drill's probably got 3 or 4 shots. That's the issue. That's why you need to do that 4 to 5 minutes of form, all those little form drills. That's why you need to do a couple of repetition drills. Then you do some situational and adaptive drills, and all of a sudden, you've got some shots up. In an average NBA practice, excluding the time where they shoot before practice and after practice, in an average NBA practice, the very best players get up 30 or 40 shots. 30 or 40 in like an hour and a half. Because there's so much other stuff going on, there's line, whatever. That's not very much, is it? That's why they spend an hour before practice and the elite ones 2 hours after practice just getting it up. We don't have that luxury, so we have to spend a lot of time, form, a lot of repetition, right? Getting drills like that Tokuhama 50. Sometimes with that Tokuhama 50, we'll do it twice. Because what are they trying to do? Beat the first score. Can they function, it's a bit of team building and things like that. I would, if I were you, get someone to chart how many shots the kids get in practice. And what I mean by that is just get a mum or a dad or a manager or someone just to chart how many shots. You think, well, they can't chart all 10. You just get them to chart 1 or 2 if they can. Right? You go, okay, so, John got 60 up there. And you'll be surprised how few shots kids get up in your practice. So it's great to have the data. I'm not big on analytics. I think it's too often applied to youth basketball. But raw data is really valuable. How often did we shoot the ball? How much of our total practice time did we devote to shooting the ball? One thing that we would do in the form shooting drills is have them chart what they make. So we might have 6 minutes on the clock and they'll do a bunch of form shooting drills, and at the end of it they'll go over to the coach and say, hey, I made 22 out of 34. We just chart it. Not for any other reason, just some accountabilities, and it gives you some data. So just think about it. It's not about keeping stats, but it's just about so you know what they're doing. What score did you guys get on the Tokuhama 50s? 22. Good. See, they know. They know. So I'm going to make sure, if I'm writing that down, next time I do it, 22's the base. So now you've got a bit of forward movement. Guys, just come over here for everyone in here for a second, please. I'm mindful of your time on a Saturday and various things I'm sure that you could be doing rather than listening to me. Hopefully that gave you some different ideas about shooting the ball. Sometimes we want great drills and we want, sexy stuff, and it's not a sexy sport. It's just a, meat and potatoes sport. So I spend a lot of time with, that form shooting, devote time to it, never think that it's costing you time and something else, because it's the best investment piece known to man. The other thing is with shooting, it's difficult because I'm sure here's a little bit different, but they can't get into stadiums. The stadiums aren't staffed, or they've got things on during the day. They can't necessarily get here all the time to just get their own shots up. So, when you do get to practice, and if they're, get on the floor with them. So, if practice starts at 5:30, you happen to get here at 5:15, there's no one on before you. Don't start practice, but I just go over and I'm going to start rebounding from home, right? Why? he gets more shots up there, right? And I'm going to move on and get the other one. If you're lucky enough to get an assistant, get them on the job as well, that pre-practice time, you know. And and I know it's tough with court time, and you know, kids have got school and whatever else, even after practice. Hey Rose, you want to get 100 up? Oh yeah. It's going to take 10 minutes. Seriously. You're not doing this 100 up bang. Okay, great, and then you go home. You have to drive it, all right? Because they don't have the opportunity that I did when I was a kid. Not that I was a great shooter at all, right? But we could go to our local stadium. You know, I'm from Griffith. You know, the stadium manager would open at 6 o'clock in the morning and shut at 10 o'clock at night if we wanted him to do that. That's just the way it was a long time ago in a country town, right? So when you get to practice, walk on the floor and get them shooting, right? And what are they going to be probably doing before you walk on the floor? Shooting what? Threes. It's not the end of the world. Rather than say, stop shooting threes, because they're not going to come in here and do this. Good on you, coach. They're not going to do that. But just give them some parameters around shooting three, right? If they're shooting, it's a positive, right? So just you know, got to trick them a little bit. Last thing I'd say is invest time in, and you're doing it now, but on becoming a better coach of shooting. If you're going to invest time in your growth and invest time in becoming a better shooter, a better coach in general, if you become a 10% better shooting coach over the next 2 or 3 years, you are doing great work, right? Too often we invest in what I call the sexy stuff, the latest offensive trends or the latest defensive system. In the end, what are the best players, probably in the history of our sport, do really well. They put that leather thing through that thing. That's what they do. All right? So, you know, if that's what's important, and we say it's the most important skill, why isn't it the most important to us to get better? I think that's really, really important. This is not a great job for these kids. Give up a Saturday, first day of holidays, some have got camp this week, there's a whole lot of things coming in, but they came in, they didn't get a lot of value out of that. They knew that the value was going to be for you guys as coaches. So I thought they were terrific. We moved through a lot of things, and I thought their energy was terrific. So can we thank these guys? We have videoed this. There's notes there. I also emailed the notes, so if you want it electronically, most of the drills are there. Sean, Roger will get the video out to people. But we really appreciate your time. Hope, as I said, that you got something out of it. Thanks to Rose for putting this all together. You know, it's great to be back here. As I said, you know, I was here in the late 80s. I was really, really young. And so was Mark. She was really, really young too. But it's always good to come back here and spend some time. And, you know, I know it's a great basketball association, but also a great basketball region. So thanks, guys.